Ticket to Paradise. Okay, so I saw this film last night, and it's not that this movie is bad. I just don't think this movie is all that great. And not that anyone really went in or is going to go into it with these huge expectations. I think the trailer kind of really gave us what we needed in terms of what we were going to get from this movie. But at least it's going to provide some really lavish looks. The movie is shot in Australia. It is set in Bali, but it still has this beautiful view. Lots of wonderful locations. You have Julia Roberts and George Clooney at the front of it. It's a big studio movie. It's a rom-com. So of course you're going to go in just to have a good time, and that's really all you should do. I was excited because I am a huge rom-com nerd. I do like them, especially when I'm having a really tough week. It's kind of like when you need a guilty pleasure to something to take you out of your funk. I love the idea of a rom-com. Despite how derivative or how cliche they all are, I don't care. I have a good time because they make me feel better at the end of a tough day. So this movie, really no different than anything you may have already seen, just parents not getting along. Jokes are somewhat missed, somewhat they hit, sometimes they don't, but at least you have these really wonderful stars at the front of it, and they do a great job here, like beating each other up, like in terms of the punchlines, the jokes, just getting on each other's nerves, and it's really nice to see their chemistry. I've always liked watching George Clooney and Julia Roberts in a movie, and personally speaking, this is just a side note, but I love it anytime Julia Roberts laughs or smiles. I think that is how the audience fell in love with her in the first place, how she got coined the name America's Sweetheart, is because there's just such this big energy about her, this glowing, charming quality that when she smiles, it just radiates. So there was also that. The movie does have, some really nice personal moments. They do have some deeper conversations. And I do feel like at the end of the day, this film has its heart in the right place. It's just not one of those movies I think is going to stay forever in your memory. This is probably going to be one of those movies that will fade a little quicker than most. It is a little better than most rom-coms. Again, I think with the addition of shooting in a really beautiful location, like this movie does, there's a lot of wonderful shots here. And there is some fun to be found. Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of fun to be found. But it is not a film that I think you have to rush out to see. It's certainly not My Best Friend's Wedding. That's a personal rom-com fave with Julia Roberts. But this is, again, nice to see these two actors just kind of doing their thing, having a good time. We haven't seen a rom-com with these two names in quite a while, so it's good to see them just having a good time on the big screen again and giving us what we want for 2 hours, which is just eat your popcorn, have a few laughs, and just feel good by the end of it. And that's all that this movie, I think, was trying to do. So it did its job. I'd say catch a matinee if you want to see it in theaters. Otherwise, you could just wait till it comes out on streaming. But yeah, that is my review. I'd love to hear what you thought of Ticket to Paradise, and thanks for listening.